Hey guys, Joel and Christy here, and what are we doing today?
We are participating in a collab with Dawn from Centsible Living with Money Mom, where we're going to discuss 5 things that we refuse to stop spending money on, even as frugal people.
That's right, hence the opening clip. Let's get to it.
Just as a note, we want to thank Dawn from Centsible Living with Money Mom for inviting us to the collab. She is so sweet. We usually do a collab with her every few months or so, and we just love her. She's so sweet and encouraging to small channels like ours. And so we do want to invite you that if somehow you don't know who Dawn from Centsible Living with Money Mom is, that you will check out our description or the end of the video, and we'll have her channel linked both there and in the description.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Now let's get on to our list. Oh, just as a note before we get started, be watching because there's some announcements that are going to be made throughout this list that's about us or our channel, things that we just are excited to share with you. So let's get started.
All right. So number 1 is organic foods. Now, we've just now really started getting back into buying organic things. We didn't buy a whole lot of that in the beginning, really.
We did. I would say that when we first started our debt-free journey, our grocery spending was really small because we needed it to be while we were struggling at the height of our debt-free journey beginning. He didn't have a job, things like that. Obviously, we cut out anything that was organic, stuff like that. Over the years, we've added back some things like organic spinach instead of conventional, things like that. But we are increasing that. We are now buying organic
ground beef.
Organic ground beef, cage-free eggs, things like that. So we're continually adding more onto that. And we are, I do want to stress that when we say organic, we don't mean like necessarily prepackaged things that say organic on it. What we're looking for are those staples that you build a recipe with. We increased our spending a little bit in 2025 so that we could include more organic, and we will continue doing that in 2026 because we are still keeping it underneath our grocery budget. And as long as we're staying underneath our grocery budget, we're okay with spending a little bit more on the organic stuff.
Number 2, high protein, high fiber foods.
Well, I do specifically make sure that I'm buying things that are high protein and high fiber. It's good for your health. Those are the building blocks of your meals, is high protein, high fiber, good fats. And so we're focusing a lot on 2026 about making sure that we're doing that. And again, just like the organic stuff, we're not buying the things that just say protein on it because it's the buzzword. We're just making sure that a lot of the stuff that we buy, I do buy protein shakes and protein powder. But other than that, everything that we buy is kind of like yogurt that has a high protein count on it, or making sure we have eggs in our diet, things like that. Making sure we have chicken, things that give you good quality protein sources. We're focusing on that this year, and also making sure that we have berries to eat and leafy green vegetables so that we have good fiber. So we're spending a little bit more probably on making sure that we have those high quality protein sources.
Number 3.
This one's going to sound weird to you.
That's right. Sourdough.
Some of you just went, wait a minute, sourdough should save you money, right? Of course, it will in the long run, but when you first get it, which we just got our sourdough starter from our daughter-in-law in November. When you first get it, there might be a little investments that you have to make or you want to make so that you can make these things. So for one thing, that I've made several already, probably 4 or 5 sandwich loaves. Like instead of buying a pack of bread at the store, I made sandwich loaves. But when we first started doing it, we didn't have the correct size pan for that. So we bought a new pan. And then you might say, well, you have to buy more flour than you used to buy, because we used to not bake things at all. So we had to buy more flour than we used to buy, things like that. So the upfront cost might be a little bit more than than you've spent on baking things, but then, you know, over the long run, you might save money on not having to buy those things. It's kind of like what we say about our vanilla extract. If you've ever seen that, we make homemade vanilla extract. The upfront cost of making homemade vanilla extract is not cheap, but then when you think about how many jars it makes and how about you don't have to make vanilla extract for another year and a half, and you don't have to buy it from the store, it ends up balancing out and even saving you, you know, a little bit per ounce. So, but also, you know exactly what's in your vanilla extract. So it's the same thing with the sourdough. You might have a little upfront cost, but then in the long run, it saves you money and you know what's in your bread.
That's right. Number 4, our little mini fund.
Our little mini fund is very important to us.
Yeah.
And if you've been around for a little while, you know that what our little mini fund is when our son and daughter-in-law had their baby, we put a sinking fund into our bank account. We wanted to be able to, if they needed anything at all, if they said, this has been a really hard month, we had like a car breakdown and all this kind of stuff, and we just need help with diapers. We wanted to be able to do that. We wanted to be able to fulfill that need. But also, we just wanted to be able to say, if we saw a cute dress and we just wanted to say, let's get her a new dress. We wanted to be able to do that.
That's right.
And we called it Little Mini Fun because if you know us, we call her Little Mini on here. And also, because our son and daughter-in-law, their first names begin with M's, and when they let us know they were having a baby, they sent us a little pack of mini M&Ms, and so we called her Little Mini, as in like mini M&Ms. But anyway, that's why we called it that. It was a little money set aside for her every month. We don't use up the money that we put in there every month, but it's there. But while we're mentioning this, we're going to make an adjustment to that account this year. Okay. There's a granddaughter, number 2, is on the way. Should be born in June. You will hear us refer to her as Little Moon. So we will have Little Minnie and Little Moon, and they'll be the mini M&Ms. That's right. And so I don't know if we're gonna rename the account so there's money for either one of them. But it'll either be, I don't know maybe we'll call it the M&Ms account or maybe something. The mini M&Ms or something. But anyway, that is something that we very much do not ever want to get rid of. We like it. When we were had little kids and he was serving very small churches, there were times when we didn't know how we were going to buy diapers or something like that, and he would have to call his mom and say, could you let us borrow some money so we can buy diapers? That's basically what we wanted to be able to do for them if they ever needed anything. Our son does work for a church, so, you know, it can get tight when you work for small churches. So for the most part, they've never asked us for anything. We will call them and say, do you need anything? And we have just decided to buy them stuff anyway. But we love that we're able to be there for them.
That's right.
So that was and we have one more thing on our list.
Number 5 is vacations.
So if you've been around, you're not surprised by that. You're like, oh, you've said the vacation one before. It's still very important to us, and we're going to use this moment to tell you about vacations that we know that we're going to be doing in 2026, and 2 of them are coming up really soon, and I feel like we're going to end up having to take a break from YouTube during those vacations. So we're going to let you know what our vacation plans are for 2026, and we're just going to say we're grateful for the fact that we're able to take these. All right, so first is, you want to tell them what?
We're going on a cruise end of February, 1st of March. My boss decided this year she wanted to take her top leadership on a cruise, or maybe we talked her into it. I don't know, one of those two. We are taking our top leadership on a cruise this year for a couple of days. in 3 days, I think. But,
obviously, since I'm not one of those top leaders, I don't even work for them.
Yeah.
I'm not covered in that, but the trip is being gifted to me.
That's right.
So I'm still going. But anyway, but because of that, I don't know exactly what my work schedule is. My work schedule as far as YouTube goes. I don't know how that works on cruises right now. I probably won't be working on YouTube videos on the cruise, so I'm guessing that it probably would be best for me not to post any. So if anything, there won't be any videos at the very end of February into March. That's why. And then that takes us to our second trip.
Yeah, because 2 days after we get off the cruise, we're going to Tennessee to see our family.
Our little Minnie has her second birthday coming up in March. And they'll be celebrating like almost right after we get off the cruise.
Seriously.
So we get off the cruise. 2 days later, we drive to Tennessee and we're gone for that. And then we finally come home.
That's right.
Yeah, so for sure, the very end of February and the 1st of March, probably no videos.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that I update that when I have a better idea of exactly how long it'll be before, or how long of a break it is. But that's it would be very challenging to find time to work on videos. I don't, when we go on the trip to Tennessee, I'm assuming that'll be a road trip, which means hard to work on videos while you're driving down the road.
Yeah.
Or at least I don't edit on my phone. If I did, then maybe I could help.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's that. And then in June, obviously, at some point, or, who knows when it'll exactly fall, but probably June is when Little Moon will be born. So we'll obviously be traveling for that. So it's very important to us. Our son and daughter-in-law and grandchildren live in a different state. And so when we have to travel, it's not cheap. So it's always important to us that we go. We do look for deals when we go. We have hotel rewards memberships, airline rewards points, I don't know, Sky Miles, things like that are always really important to us, that we have those things so that we can make trips as affordable as possible. But it is definitely something that we refuse to give up.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, and that is our full list for this time. We have done videos like this similarly in the past and did a few things different in the other ones. And so we can link a couple of those in the description. And of course, we will link the video or Dawn's channel so that you can go over and check out her list, which will probably be very different than ours.
Probably so. And drop us your comments below. Let us know some things that you refuse to stop spending money on as a frugal person. We'd love to hear those in the comments below.
It's okay as long as you are staying in your budget and you're living below your means. It's okay to spend money on some things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Again, we want to thank Dawn from Centsible Living with Money Mom for the collab today. Like I said, go over there and check out her channel if you haven't already. And I think that's going to do it today for saving money for the long run with Joel and Christy. Don't forget it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.